Oh, and since we're at 100%, I think this actually unlocks an extra, if I remember correctly. Which I wouldn't mind going and checking out. So we'll check that out as well, but first, let's head over to the Cantina. So they are still obtainable on PS3. That's what I thought. Like, it was initially thought they were gonna be unobtainable, but they actually fixed whatever the issue was, which is surprising. Alright, let's switch over to a Jedi. Who shall get this? Who is most deserving of this one? How about Yoda? Let's let Yoda get to the end here. Oh, nope, that's not it. Panic. There it is, Jedi business. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. Platinum Trophy number 852. And the longest of the LEGO games is done. Hey guys, it is NCS Fan 001 here for the road to my 852nd Platinum Trophy. Today's game was the PS4 version of LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. So, this is, of course, the most recent true LEGO game. I mean, I know that there's the Horizon LEGO game, but it wasn't made by the same people. This is the last one from Traveler's Tales that we've gotten at this point, and I really do hope we get more in the future. So, this game was a lot of fun, personally. I know that that's going to be a bit of a, not necessarily questionable, but definitely a bit controversial, and I'll talk about that a little bit more later. But I personally really liked this game, and in terms of difficulty and time, it's really, even by LEGO standards, a pretty easy platinum because the trophies really don't require you to do like anything outside of just sort of normally 100%ing the game and a few miscellaneous things. It's just the fact that the game is extremely time consuming as it takes, you know, 70, 80, maybe 90 hours, so it's a very time consuming platinum and definitely the longest LEGO platinum. So do keep that in mind if you're going to go for it. It does take a very long time to get through. But again, in my opinion, I really enjoyed it. I knocked the entire platinum out in like a month and a half or a month and 3/4. Could have done it even faster if I'd really wanted to, but I mean, I was enjoying it. I got to stream a ton of it. Streams usually did pretty well, so no real complaints there. So the first 10 trophies on the list are all story related. You have to complete all 45 story missions. They're divided into the 9 Skywalker Saga movies with 5 levels in each of them, as well as a lot of sort of transition periods where you have to go from planet to planet between missions and participate in certain activities and puzzles and stuff during that time. So it's a lot more like the Vita LEGO games in that sense, that you sort of have to explore in between levels, and it's a lot more levels, but they're a lot shorter this time around. So that's sort of what to expect from the story. Again, most missions are pretty short, but there is some periods where you're going to have to like go between them and stuff like that. So beyond that, you then get most of your remaining trophies for basically 100%ing the game or getting very close to 100%ing it. So you have to complete all events on every planet in the galaxy, and there's like 19 or 20 planets you have to explore. Some of them are really quick, some of them are more average length, and a few of them are much longer. So Geonosis is a pretty middle-of-the-road length planet, whereas Tatooine is one of the longest ones because it has 3 or 4 areas you have to explore. On each planet, you'll have to complete various side missions, which will unlock both vehicles and characters for you, as well as find tons of Kyber bricks, either through solving puzzles or just random exploration. And there's also a data card on each planet, which is just an additional collectible we'll get to in a second. So with Bespin's like a medium length one, Crate's a medium to short length one, Hoth is a medium, slightly longer than medium length mission, or planet I mean. Cantonica isn't too bad, Yavin's pretty short, Ajin Kloss isn't too bad either, I don't believe. Camino is actually one of the shortest planets, and it's in a sector of its own, so that's a pretty easy trophy. Then Jakku is fairly long, Takodana is pretty average, and Coruscant is one of the longest planets because it has a ton of areas you have to explore. Kashyyyk is pretty much middle of the road, whereas Kijimi doesn't even have to be explored. It's just in the same sector, and it's there for story mission purposes only. Then Dakar isn't too bad. Pasana's a little bit longer, and Naboo's fairly long because it's got several places to explore. Then Octo isn't too bad. Endor was the final planet I did. It's not terrible, but it is one of the more annoying places just because it's kind of hard to navigate. Kef Bir is a little bit annoying because it has multiple areas, and then Exegol is pretty easy. Then Dagobah, Mustafar, and Utapau are all fairly short or middle of the road. Then you have to get True Jedi on every level, which is for filling the stud meter on every level. Thankfully, there are red bricks in the form of data cards that act as cheats in this game, and you can use the multipliers to do these trophies, so no issues there, the stud multipliers. You have to finish all the level challenges. There are 3 per level. Most of them are pretty easy and self-explanatory. A few of them you'll probably need a guide for, just a few of the more trickier, finickier ones, like, say, doing the stealth mission objective on Kijimi, and a few others like that that are a little bit tougher, but most of them are pretty easy to figure out on your own. Similarly, you have to find all 5 mini-kits in every level. Most of the mini-kits are pretty easy to find, but again, there's a few of them that even with the mini-kit detector might give you a little bit of a headache, so just be prepared if you need to pull up a guide for a handful of them and a handful of the level challenges. It shouldn't be a problem. Then you have to fully upgrade all the character classes, which is going to require most of the Kyber bricks in the game and quite a few studs to do. Then you have to collect every data card, of which there's about 19 of those. Again, they basically are the replacement for red bricks in this game. They're your cheats. Though most of them are not very useful. Really, the only useful ones are the stud multipliers and the universal translator. Really about the only useful ones. You have to collect 1,000 Kyber bricks. You're going to need to collect more than that to get all the characters and everything anyway and finish all the events. There are 1,200 total, and you're going to need like 1,170, 1,180 of them or something to complete everything else in the game, because there were a couple added in later from other capital ships that got added in. You have to collect all the characters, which is going to require finishing all of the missions and doing all the objectives in the missions and the challenges, as well as completing all the events on all of the planets and the capital ships. There's like 385 characters in this game, or 380, so it's a ton of characters. This one will be unlocked along with all those bronze trophies above. All the races, that'll be unlocked as part of all the events in the galaxy. The galactic challenges, there's 10 of these. A few of them are planet-specific, but most of them are sort of whole galaxy-wide challenges you have to do, like rescuing a trapped Porg on pretty much every planet and destroying a mouse droid on every planet, stuff like that. And this is actually the last trophy I got on both versions of the game. It's pretty easy to just make sure that you're using a Jedi. It doesn't work with a Sith, but it's very easy once you know that fact. Then ride all the creatures. There's not a ton of them you have to ride, but you might need to look at a guide for this one just because it's not something you're really going to come across naturally. Earn 10 billion studs. Very easy once you have the stud multipliers. And I ended up with like 25 million or 26 million studs, or billion, excuse me. So it really wasn't a problem at all. You shouldn't have any issue with that even after buying everything. Then destroy 100 TIE fighters. This is basically unmissable while doing all the events throughout the galaxy. You're going to be going into space so much, this shouldn't be a problem. This one should come naturally in a number of levels. This one will come naturally just by playing. This one is a little bit grindier because you're not going to use it super often, but what you can do is apparently go into a mission or an area where you have access to a disguise and have your character get into a disguise and then have a different character shoot them and knock off a piece of the disguise, then put it back on, and supposedly that counts. Achieve a combat multiplier score of 30 is going to be unmissable. It's one of the first trophies you're going to get in the game. Complete all of the faulty droid missions on Tatooine. There's 5 or 6 of these. It's basically just a chain of missions, but they're not really all that hard. The Gonk droid escorts, these are all over the galaxy. There's like 10 of these. They're, again, pretty easy. And then you just have to complete a flight level without dying, which is a little bit different in this game because there is no red brick or data card for invincibility this time around. But in reality, the flight levels are so short and they work well enough that this shouldn't cause you any problems. If you don't get it by the end of the game, just replay any level that you can fly in and you should be able to get it. So with that, level 887, 17%, 29,704 total trophies, 852 platinums, 5,685 golds, 7,985 silvers, 15,182 bronzes. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell if you haven't done so already. Let me know in the comments what you think of this game. Like I mentioned earlier, it's probably a little bit controversial for me to say that I really liked this game. And I mean, maybe it's because I'm a pretty big Star Wars fan and because I do enjoy the LEGO games a lot, but honestly, I didn't have any major issues with it. This one wasn't really buggy like some of the old ones were. There was maybe one time ever where I had to quit out of the game and reload into it to fix something. So honestly, I don't really have any major complaints about this one. I mean, if you're trying to get every single LEGO game done, or if you're a big Star Wars fan, this one's definitely worth playing. If you're not a huge Star Wars fan and don't care about platinuming every LEGO game, maybe give this one a skip unless you just want to play through the story or something and then just be done with it. But yeah, personally, I really liked the game. So again, a lot of people in the trophy community were not big fans of this one. I'm one of the few that was, but that's just my opinion. So thank y'all for watching. See you back here real soon for another trophy video.